Hi, my name is Merce. I'm a classical guitar player, and today I want to show you some exercise to improve your finger flexibility on the left hand. Elasticity comes a little bit different for every person. Some people find it very easy and they are naturally very elastic, and some others not so much. It might also depend on your age, on your diet, and maybe also if you have practiced any flexibility exercise before in your life. Either way, for none of us, it comes overnight. It's something that you have to build up. And it's something you have to build up slowly, because it's a type of exercise that is very tiring for the articulations. So you have to be very careful with how you do that, and also do it very progressively. So if you want to gain a little bit of elasticity on your left hand, try to think in long term and not in a week. There are many exercises out there that will be useful, and maybe I will bring some more in the channel, but today I want to focus on one. And I know that this exercise has been used from classical players to also electric guitar player. I mean, for instance, it is included in the very beginning of the John Petrucci's method. The good thing of this exercise is that you are not only practicing elasticity between the fingers, but you first start with a stage of finger control and positioning. I will do the exercise on the 5th fret, but if you have never done anything like this before, maybe try on the 7th fret, and if you play electric guitar or anything else, you can do it even on a higher fret to have less of a distance between the frets. Now the exercise is very simple. We start from the position of our choice. I start in the 5th, so I position the first finger on the 4th string of the 5th fret, then the second finger on the 3rd string, the 3rd finger on the 2nd string, and the 4th finger on the 1st string. As you notice, I'm placing the fingers on 1 fret distance, so that's why I say if you're a beginner or you're by now not yet very flexible, you can start on a higher position so the frets are a little bit narrow and it's a little bit easier, more comfortable for you. Once we have built the chord, we will be switching around the fingers in couples, so the internal fingers and then the external ones, and it will look something like this. First we have the main chord, and now we have the switch. They change strings, so the second goes to the 2nd string, and the 3rd goes to the 3rd string. And then we will change around the 1st and the 4th, so we will move them like this. And then again, we will change this over. You can actually play many rhythmical patterns with this. Let's start just with an ascending arpeggio. You can also do it descending and then ascending and descending, or descending and ascending. You can just be creative with that. Make sure though that all the notes that you're playing sound clean. Now once you have the first part, you can just copy paste this to 1 string lower and you repeat. Now this first run is going to be very useful for you to warm up the fingers, to set them in place, to gain control, to avoid any noises, overall to take very much care of your left hand movement and positioning. So once you control and you feel comfortable in this position, you can move down the neck to lower positions to extend a little bit the distances, and that will already make your hand work. So let's start with the stretching part of the exercise. One last thing before we continue, if you could share this video so that we can reach more of the guitar community, I would appreciate it very much, and it will help me a lot to keep working and invest in hours to bring good content material for you to practice. Thank you very much, and let's go back to the exercise now. Once we have this, we will be adding 1 extra space, 1 extra fret in between each finger. So we will start adding the extra fret in between 1 and 2, which somehow is also the easiest, so we can move the first backwards. And then you do the whole exercise like this. Now, as you can imagine, if we had this, we will displace this stretch and we will be moving the 2nd finger together with the 1st, having this extra fret in between 3 and 2. That is actually a quite annoying one, so feel free to just move up the fretboard. Little disclaimer, if you are a complete new beginner, like you just touched the guitar for the first time some days ago, maybe that's a little bit too advanced for you. Those who have been playing for a while and are already familiar with some sort of stretch and chords and everything, then probably you can give it a shot and let me know in the comments below how it was for you. After each of those sets, I would recommend you to just rest for some seconds, that this tension dissipates so that you get to work on the stretch, but you don't really damage your hand. It's very, very important you're very careful on that. If you try this exercise and it feels too heavy, don't force it. Maybe try for simpler flexibility exercises, or ask your teacher, or ask in the internet. Actually, I will also make some videos on simpler versions. And if you feel comfortable doing this exercise in higher positions, great, just be very careful and build it up very, very, very gradually. Now, the last bit is going to be to add the extension between the third and the fourth finger. Now, after having played this exercise, you should feel some sort of like burning feeling of warmth, of a bit of tiredness, but not pain. And leave to your own criteria not to go to the pain threshold, because for musicians, this quote of no pain, no gain is very relative. When it's about your hands, if you get to the pain, you're like about to get tendinitis or just signing for it. So be smart and gentle with how you practice elasticity exercise. So I hope this exercise will actually be helpful for your practice. Again, be very careful about how you work on these things. Work always on this flexibility exercise after you have warmed up, once you really feel that your hand is played and warm. And don't practice this for too long. If you still want to do them but feels very tiring for your hand, you can also split and make some in the morning, some in the afternoon. But most of all, don't force your hand to the pain limit. And if you're constant with this and very careful, you will see that you will gain strength, you will gain control, and of course you will gain a lot of flexibility between your fingers, which eventually helps a lot when playing. So please don't forget to drop a like, subscribe, and share the video if you found it useful, and I'll see you in the next one.